Coming up is my chat with Heather Rhodes, Principal, Harrow School Online. Stay with us. Heather, glad to have you on Tech Trends.
Thank you so much.
So tell us, what role do you think technology is playing in education today?
I'm really excited about the role that technology is playing in education. Fundamentally, education hasn't changed much in the last few hundred years, but technology is bringing vast potential to education. So a few ways it's changing things. One of them is distances. You can connect expert teachers from one country with students in another country, and that students' classmates perhaps in another country again. So those distances are just dropping out. Another one is that with the content of lessons, previously teachers would be delivering all of the content of a lesson at the same speed to everyone in the class. But technology means that that content delivery can be recorded and packaged up into lessons that students can review at their own individual pace. They can stop when they want to, they can repeat bits when they want to. I think it gives a better personalisation for learners. And it also makes it really data rich. So as students are working through lessons at a speed that suits them, if there are questions in those lessons, and the tech is tracking the students' responses to those questions, you can see where that student's doing well and where they're struggling. And so teaching can then be really targeted, looking at the areas that students need to work on and skipping over the bits that they already understand.
How do you think education technology has fared generally?
Yeah, I mean, I think schools are quite slow to change in general because teachers are quite traditional. They know what they've always done in class and they kind of feel comfortable continuing that. But as people are experimenting a little bit with teaching using technology and teaching online, and they realise the potential of that, I think teachers become a bit more comfortable with it. We've seen that at universities, that a lot of degree programmes nowadays are being delivered online. I think that's gradually coming down through the age group, so you'll find that more in the future in secondary schools, I believe.
Now, one reality is that a lot of parents might have issues around distraction. What is your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it takes time for that mindset to change. And what we often found speaking to parents is that parents who've tried some kind of online education themselves, perhaps there are lots of online masters nowadays or professional training courses, they've seen the benefits themselves, then they realise that there's a lot of potential for their kids. But I think it's also a case of educating parents, showing them that actually if your child is studying online, you get much better visibility into your kids' learning. You can track them all you want to. So for those Nigerian parents who are really on it and want to see exactly what their kid's doing, they're in there.
And the kids will be wondering, do I want my parents to know all that?
That's true, but it does mean that you can intervene early if a child needs help, because with the traditional school, it's the end of term report that kind of flags up problems in that child's education. But with, say, an online school where you're monitoring and getting data back on that child throughout the education, at any point that they start to drop with their grades, you can intervene and help them, support them, get them back on track.
Talking about students and technology, and there's this issue of distraction. What is your opinion?
In a physical classroom, there's quite a lot of distractions. The behaviour of the kids around you, somebody who maybe you quite like who's sitting next to you. There are distractions there in a physical classroom as well. And actually, kids can be quite focused when they're online. They don't have those kind of classroom distractions. I mean, if you're talking about making sure that the kids actually studying when they should be studying and they're not playing on Fortnite or some other game, well, actually, a lot of online schools do what we do at Harrow School Online, and that's to track how much time students are spending on their studies and make that information available to parents, to teachers. So they can see exactly how much time they've spent on their homework, how much time they've spent online on their studies. So yeah, there's perhaps better visibility there.
Now tell us, what are some of the ways you're trying to use technology to improve education?
We're really excited about the potential of doing this. Harrow School, the school that I've worked at for over 10 years, in many ways it's a really traditional school, and we have like a really good traditional delivery of a high quality A-level curriculum. But the fact is, by using technology, we can suddenly broaden access to that type of education. We can create a school that is a global school where students from all over the world can study an A-level education with our expert teachers. The same kind of ethos and curriculum is there, but the mode of delivery is different.
I'm curious, what's your attraction for Nigerian students?
Yeah, well, I guess we've always had Nigerian students at Harrow School who have been the life and soul of their school community. And Harrow School Online is a global school. We wanted to make sure there were students from as many countries as possible. We really wanted to have some Nigerian students within the school community to bring a bit of life to it, to help other students kind of start to forge those friendships. The Nigerian students that I've come across have always been really hardworking and eager to learn, very ambitious, and that's the kind of student I think has a real positive impact on your community spirit at the school.
Do you ever get worried that issues around privacy, online security, and even low bandwidth can slow the growth of online learning?
Yeah, I mean, out of all of those things that you've mentioned, probably low bandwidth is the thing that's the biggest concern, because the virtual learning environment that we're using is one that's tried and tested with the Connection School in the USA. So we've got every confidence that we've kind of covered that aspect off. Low bandwidth, yeah, it is a factor, and in cities like Lagos, where there's a decent internet connection for students, that's great. What we'd love to do is to be able to reach out to cities outside capitals where at the moment the bandwidth's going to be the limiting factor, but we're really hoping that as infrastructure improves, we'll be able to kind of welcome students to the school who are slightly more remote.
Finally, Heather, what role do you think that technology will play in the future of education?
Yeah, well, I do think it's going to change education. I think a school like Harrow is kind of leading the way in a way to open up online learning. And in countries like Nigeria, that's got such a vast potential to make a really positive impact on the country. There were so many kids here who were bright kids and would be able to go on to university, but there's not enough good sixth forms and universities for those children. And with online programs like Harrow School Online, with online degree programs, and I'm sure there's going to be loads of other schools joining on and delivering online education, that allows those people to access education and achieve their dreams. And I think that's got to be good for the whole of the country.
So I guess you're based on online learning.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you for the show today.
Thank you so much.
That was Heather Rhodes, Principal, Harrow School Online. Now, online education has no doubt gained some adoption for higher education. Now, only time will tell if parents and guardians will accept it for secondary or maybe primary education. Now, be that as it may, for a country like Nigeria, we have to be bolder and more innovative about education, because going by our population growth rate, we may not be able to educate our citizens fast and well enough. Now, this is extremely important for us to stay competitive in this digital era. We've come to the end of the show. But it doesn't end here. The conversation continues online. We are Tech Trends TV on social media. Also watch the entire show on the Channels TV YouTube page or via cfablog.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.